Hey Queens, A single Queens, A single Queens. We are live on Instagram and now we're live on Facebook. Also, you are going to be seeing this on YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, go ahead and please hit like this video and then also go ahead and subscribe. We're we're growing on YouTube and I want to thank you for everything that you're doing on YouTube and hopefully things have been going great and that you're enjoying our videos on YouTube and also for you that are here on Instagram and our Facebook group Queens Don't Settle. Glad to see and be able to come on tonight. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend. I had a phenomenal weekend, amazing weekend. Went to this event, and I mean, they had some awesome and amazing speakers, highly anointed. The worship was on fire. Everything was really phenomenal. So tonight, Single Queens, I know that we're coming to the end of the year. So many people are saying, you know what, let's just do 2025. But as you already know me, Queens don't settle. So we're not shutting it down. We're not coasting. We're still believing. We're still reaching our goals. 2024 is not over yet. And honestly, what we're going to be doing is building momentum into 2025. And so I know many of you are ready to go from single to successfully dating. Many of you are ready to be healed. Many of you are ready to see many of your goals reached in 2025. So let's continue to look at that. And tonight I wanted to really talk about this tonight is because God, I've been praying, I've been talking to you, but where is my man, right? Where is the man that I'm not trying to rush you, but where is the man that I've been talking to you about to bring him into my life? And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight as you are joining us tonight. Again, we want to thank you for joining us. I am my name is Desmond Booker. I'm a Christian dating and relationship coach, as well as a life coach. I help those queens who are seeing success in their love lives, but not seeing, in their life, but not seeing success in your love life. Right. Seeing success in your love life is what we're going to begin to help you do. And it doesn't even really matter if you're not dating. It doesn't really matter if, quote unquote, no one's coming into your world. That doesn't matter. Why? Because we can change it. We have the authority. We have the capability to change and create the things and our lives the way that we're wanting it. You're seeing success in your life. And I want to know, just comment below if you're looking at this on YouTube or Facebook or even on Instagram. Is your life what you're wanting it to be? Are you seeing the results of what you're wanting it to be? If not, just comment below. If you are, say, yes, I am. And then how about your love life? Comment below about your love life. Are you seeing success in your love life? Comment below. And I'm going to really begin to focus on and help those that are really, truly desiring to see success in their love life. Okay, God, I've been talking to you about this man. Where is he? One of the things that you have to really begin to understand as we're talking to God, as we're praying, we have to do it by faith. Okay? By faith. As we talk to God, we have to do it by faith. If we have an expectation from God, right, for him to hear us, we have to do it by faith. And when you pray and believe, you will receive without doubting in your heart, right? So there's no doubting when you're praying. So when you pray, honestly, it's already done, okay? So it's just like you're talking to a waiter at or waiter or a waitress at the wait staff at the restaurant. What do? You give them the order. You tell them what it is that you're wanting to order. And then that's it. That's what prayer is. And then in the process of it, the waiter communicates to you some things that you're needing to do, right? Communicating would you like that, or how would you like. There's a conversation about your order. Did you hear that? There's a conversation. And so as you're talking to God, as you're putting in this request for you to be married, or for you to be in this great relationship, or for you to be healed, right? Even for you to be healed and for your healing process to start, you're making your request known, right? And so you're needing to do this by faith. And then God communicates. God is communicating and he's talking to you, and there is a conversation about what you just talked about, right? And so you have to be listening as well as speaking. Okay? So you've been talking to God about this man, he still hasn't shown up. Now, in the process of that, number one, have you really talked to God by faith? Do you really believe that God heard you? There cannot be any doubt. If you don't, a double-minded person, what? Receives nothing from the Lord. So you have to make sure that you're not doubting. You have to make sure that if you even have requested, you have to make sure that even in the midst of your request, guess what? That there is no vacillating, where there's no, I believe God heard me. I believe it's going to be, I don't know what I'm going to do. I guess I'm going to do this. And then you start making up stuff. You start doing things on your own. That's why you're still single, is because it's not that God is not moving. It's that you're moving. And that's why it says, be still and know that I am what? I am God. I'm going to bring what you're talking to me about. And we're gonna not only are we gonna have a conversation about your request, but also I'm gonna share with you some things that you're needing to do in order for you to be able to meet him and he meet you. Right? This thing is already done. This thing is already done. When you pray believing, it's already done. Okay? So number one, do you really believe that you've talked to God and that he heard you? Not any doubting. Okay? And so number two is that now that you have done that, what is God saying to you concerning it? So many queens are telling me, well, God told me to wait, or this is my waiting season. Did God really say that, or is that what you're saying? What is really honestly going on between the conversation? God may be saying it's time for you to get healed. It may be time for you to forgive somebody. It may be time for you to stop wanting this certain type of person. I have somebody for you, but who you want is not who I desire you to be with, right? It's not your will, it's God's will. It's what God has for you, which is best. And I know so many single queens are really feeling like God has not heard them and that he's not doing anything to bring that man in. God's doing everything. The Bible says that if he's giving you the desires of your heart, why would he withhold? He withhold no good thing from them who love him. Okay? Number three, okay, so I know I didn't mean to go into this, but we're going into it. We're going pretty deep. Do you believe, right? Do you believe that he heard you? If you believe he heard you, then we got to go to number two. If you believe that your prayer has been heard by God, God, where is that man? Okay, so he heard you. Number two, what is he speaking concerning that, right? What is he talking about? If you believe that God heard you praying about bringing somebody into your life, about you being healed, about you being in a relationship, what is the conversation going on? What is God saying about that? What are you needing to be in the process of doing, right? And then you begin to do what God is leading you to do. Okay? And number three, as you're beginning to do this, you have to understand that you have to leave it in the hands of God. You have to leave it in his hands. God, I've prayed about this. I believe it's already done, and I'm going to leave it to you. What happens so many times is that we give it to God, but then we take it back. And how do we do this? I don't know if it's going to come. You're posting all of these single women. This is my year, 2024, 2025. There's no good men out here. All of these things. There's not any men in my city. What have you just done? You have just taken it, that request out of God's hands, and now you're beginning to speak against what you prayed about. Okay? And I'm not taking you to church tonight. I'm not taking you to church for Monday Night Live, but I want you to really begin. There's so many factors. There's so many things that has to be worked out in order for your request to be made. Are you being double-minded in any part of the process? Are you believing it's going to be done today, but then tomorrow you don't? Or, and let me say this, even in the process of meeting someone, and let's just say you meet someone who's pretty close, because this has happened to me. I've met someone who I felt was really pretty close, right? Just because they don't feel like, they don't feel anything towards you, or you don't feel like it should go on, does not mean that God was not in that. Do you see this? Because it's a process. It's a process. And if you want and desire and believe that God heard you, you're going to go through this process. Okay? There is a process to this. And again, what you cannot do is what? Is give up. You have to go through this process. So do you believe that I can pray, God, here's my prayer, and I can date one person one time? I don't want to go through this process. I don't want to go through this process. And when I talk about a process, I'm talking about a process as far as you being healed, as far as you going, on dates and stuff. But yes, I do believe that you can pray to God and He bring and you meet one person. I truly believe that. But are you aligned for that to happen? Are you healed? Are you open enough? Are you even vulnerable enough to open yourself up to somebody like that? Right? Many times people are getting close to you, and and you would think that they're asking you to marry. No, He just asked you, what do you like? What do you like to eat? And you think that He's asking some real deep questions. He's not. You see this? And again, if you believe that God is leading you, then why is the fear there? You see that? Why is the fear there? Why are you afraid to open yourself up to get to know somebody? Why are you afraid is this person might be the next person who hurts me? You see that? So if you believe that God is leading you, why would you believe that He's leading you to somebody who's going to hurt you? That doesn't make sense. You see? So you have to really open yourself up, and you have to really let God do what He wants to do. God, we're talking this evening about God. Where is that man at? I'm not trying to rush you, but I'm wanting to see him. And we're talking about some components, because there's some things about prayer that need to be addressed, right? And so as you're praying and as you're talking to God about where He is and everything, God's not gonna hide anything. He's gonna communicate to you. And honestly, He can bring you somebody that's from Him and that is perfect for you. But guess what? You don't feel that they're perfect for you. So many of you are single because that's not my type. That's not, he don't have this, and he don't have this, and he don't have this. But guess what he does? But what do you have? You have a peace in your spirit about it. But you want. So if you're writing notes, write this phrase down, and it's a biblical phrase. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. So your spirit is willing and ready to do what God is saying, but your flesh is saying, that ain't it. He got this. He doesn't do this. He laughs like this. This ain't it. Your flesh is keeping you single, not God. God says, I know what you desire, and I know what you have a taste for, right? And I know what you're wanting in your progress. But guess what? What you're wanting really does not matter. What matters is, and this is the thing right here. This is what really gets me as for me. This is just for me as a man. You've gone through all these issues with all these men, right? And you're praying for God to send you a man. And a man begins to be nice to you. He begins to do everything that you're desiring to see in a husband. And he's showing all the signs of a husband. But because he's, quote unquote, not what your, and we will say, the cup of tea. He's not your height, or he's not the color, or he's not this, or he's not that. That's only the flesh. It's not about the flesh. So how can you watch this, pray, and ask a spiritual God to give you somebody who's spiritual, and then it really comes back down to your flesh? God's not trying to give you something that's going to please your flesh. He's trying to give you somebody that's going to be pleasing your spirit. Because you got to remember this. This is a spiritual warfare, a spiritual battle. This is why so many people marry for looks, right? And because you marry for looks, but when it comes down to the end of the day, you end up cheating, or you end up getting, you end up getting, going through this verbal abuse or physically abuse. You got the finest man on the block, but he's physically abusing you. What good is that? Then this person that God is bringing you, you're not quote unquote attracted to him, or they doing things that you quote unquote don't like, but it in the spiritual realm, they're the perfect connection to you. They're encouraging you. They're inspiring you. They're praying for you, and they're covering you. But you don't want it because why? Because your flesh is weak, but your spirit has been willing. This is why, again, being open. And when I say being open, not only on the being vulnerable, but also, I'm going too deep today, aren't I didn't mean to. But again, with me being who I am and me feeling, I'm just led to share this with you. I just really feel led to share this with you because, again, how open are you? How open are you? How vulnerable are you to allow somebody to come in, right? How open are you to follow the directions and follow the instructions and allow God to bless you, right? Do I believe that God will give you everything that he might? But again, he knows us, because so many times we can actually get something that we worship. We can actually get everything that we're wanting in a person, and then worship them. So God may not do that. We don't know, but what we're going to do is what? We're going to trust him. We're going to allow him to lead us. So I'm answering your questions today. And if you're seeing this on YouTube, share this. If you're seeing this on Instagram, share this. If you're seeing this on in my Facebook group, you can't share it because it's a private page. But I want this to get out to as many people that are saying, I'm praying for that man to come into my life. God, where is he? I'm not trying to rush you, but where is he? Okay? This is going to be a great discussion. I could go a little bit deeper, but I just want to share those few things with you. This is not the time to be discouraged. This is the time to be encouraged. Yes, God has somebody for you. Yes, there is somebody that is the answer to your prayer. But are you ready to see them? Are you wanting to see them? Are you ready for them to come into your life? Okay? It's not God keeping you single. It's you keeping yourself single. And I shared some things with you. And we'll talk more about this, but those are the more highlight of the reason why you're praying, and it seems as if God's not bringing the person. He may have already brought him, but you are keeping yourself single, and you're saying, not that, God. I'm not going to, watch this. I'm not going to be on that dating app. I'm not going to be meeting anybody online. I'm not going to. You got so many stipulations. Where is God? How can God work in that? we got this disciple over here. We got this child over here. Got a few fish and a few loaves of bread. That's not enough to feed all these people. Watch God multiply the few fish and a few loaves of bread. The same thing it is that he brings somebody into your life. Can he not change? Can he not do and work with whom he given you, who he has brought into your life? I quit. I digress. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. This was good. I'm telling you, please share this. Please share this. Let somebody hear this that's praying, and we're going to be talking. I'm here to help you any way that I can. If you want to sit down and talk to me one-on-one, and let's discuss this. You're praying and you're not seeing any results. What's keeping you single? Let's talk about it, honestly. DM me on Instagram, Facebook group. All you got to do is just DM, comment below, DM me. And if you're on YouTube, you can do the same. Just say DM me, or we'll talk any kind of way. All right? Remember, queens, don't settle. It's going to happen, but you got to get out of the way.